America, what's going on Twitter, Facebook, Instagrams? Yeah, it's Kev from Kevin's Corner, making sure, first of all, you guys can see me and the TV. That's what I got to make sure of. But yeah, it's me. I'm back, man. It's Friday, and I was able to overcome all the obstacles that await me throughout the day to try to stop me from being great. That's what it is. Hard day of work. Blew it out the water. That's right. Had to show the young boy who I work with, he's been there longer than me, the right type of work ethic. Yeah, he got a little discouraged today, and I was like, buck up, buddy, buck up. Yeah, you got to operate like a Terminator. Never let the job beat you. So it was a good day. Got some cardio in while I was there. Made a game of it. And afterwards, got a little left over in the tank to go ahead and do what I love doing more than anything, making sense out of nonsense. Yeah, man. And tonight, we're going to do just that. We're going to make some sense out of nonsense because we want all these liberals out there to understand what could happen to you if you vote blue, no matter who. Yeah, we got some cases. We're going to make a strong argument for anybody out there just saying, you know what, I don't care. I'm a dip. Hey, move. Who's that bumping stuff? All right. Oh, oops. I guess nobody. The dogs are nowhere around. They're like, oh, I don't know who you yelling at. I didn't bump nothing. Better not have. Anyway. But yeah, I think we're going to make a strong case tonight for anybody who, for whatever reasons, I was a Democrat. My grandmother and them was a Democrat. And all of my family's Democrats. So I'm just going to vote Democrat. And I'm going, don't you do that. Don't you do that. Because if you vote blue, no matter who, you could be through. So with that being said, I'm assuming you guys can hear me. And because I got a decent amount of clips I want to cover, we might as well go ahead and get busy. Somebody said their computer is acting up. Hit that refresh button. You know what to do. Now let's get it going. Somebody said, good color on him. Thank you. Real gold color. Real gold color. Real gold color.
It's the kings in the building. Do your step and show some respect.
Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, and don't forget, there's a Kevin's Corner store in here. Please check that out if you want to get some of my merch. And don't forget, too, that if you want to just support the channel through my Cash App and my PayPal, you can do that as well. The links are below each video to do so. Now, with that being said, also the number 330-974-4607, just in case they unexist me. You text MAGA to that number. I'll at least have a way to let y'all know what's going on. Now, let's go ahead and get into it, y'all, because there's a lot of people who vote blue no matter who. But not me. Not me. I just wear colors of blue. But I'm not going to get out there and vote blue because these clips are going to show everybody what could happen to you if you vote blue. No matter who. Yeah, I sound like one of them old black men to be talking to them. Come here, boy, let me talk to you, boy. You know what can happen to you if you vote blue, no matter who? Boys, you crazy. Don't be out there fooling with them Democrats. That's how they need to be talked to. So let's get into it to build our case, ladies and gents. Starting off with this.
Vote blue no matter who.
You may remember those teen takeovers, specifically one that happened in Streeterville a couple of weeks ago where a 15-year-old was shot. What? Chicago police now say they've arrested a 14-year-old in connection with that shooting.
Good googly move. So wait, let me understand. This is probably up in where Chicago, where Mayor Conehead is. Yeah, he's the Democrat leader after Lightfoot. She was horrible, and he's worse than her. But somehow they voted for him anyway, stuck his butt in there, and now we got teens taking over the streets. Where was this when I was growing up? I mean, back then, we were scared of the cops, y'all. We were scared of the cops. We see them even cruising around us. We all right, everybody, let's disperse. Let's just start walking away, act like we don't, even if we ain't did nothing. We just walking straight up. Don't even look at them. Don't look over there at them. They're all shoot. They're slowing down. They're slowing down. Yeah, even if we were innocent. We had a healthy respect of the police, but not up there in Chicago when you make all those teens feel like they can do whatever they want because they're little scholars and stuff like that, making excuses for them, telling people don't criticize them. So let's see how this all paid off.
Some of the video from that night. This update is coming as police are trying to looking for new ways to prevent that trouble. They're restricting ride shares downtown when they think that large groups will be gathering. And
how about arrest people? There you go. That's a thought. That might be a good strategy. Start locking these young boys and young girls up. Make an example out of them. Come down there heavy-handed on some of them. Then also let their parents know, if your kid get caught down here acting a fool, they're going to jail. You might want to go and say, you ain't going out tonight. Don't you be going out with them roughnecks. But nope. Nah, Mayor Brandon is so soft on crime. The police, they already know. It would all be in vain for them to go ahead and start throwing some of these little young scholars in jail. Like this one right here with his face covered up in the summertime for whatever reason.
And aldermen are also talking about changing the downtown curfew. That's on the agenda tomorrow. Our political reporter, Marian Ahern, is here with more on this big...
Changing the curfew. What is that going to do if there's no consequences for anything you do? Okay. All right. Now look here, son. You better go to bed by 10. Well, what if I don't? Well, you better. Well, I'm going to step into 12. Oh, you, man. Why won't he listen to me? Because you don't swat that tail. That's why. You don't go to work on him. Next time you tell him to be in bed by 10, he'll be checking his clock like 9:58. I better go ahead and start nodding. But if you ain't going to do nothing, you think they're going to obey? So they're going to put a curfew on them.
Talker everywhere, Marianne.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon to both of you. This past weekend, the city says it did prevent 2 of 3 planned takeovers by teens using a variety of tactics, including this new tool, geofencing. With Chicago police approval, Uber and Lyft sends notifications restricting riders from entering a zone the police are watching closely.
Now, why you got to go through all of that? This could be solved by a good old slap on the butt. There it is. Yeah, start scaring the bejesus out of them. Throw them in JJC, Juvenile Justice Center, you know what I'm saying? Where you can get your stuff a sponge, unless it's something bad. But start locking their tails up. I told you, I had a kindergartner that I didn't know what to do with when I was a special ed coordinator. And this girl, I could tell she had sociopathic tendencies. I mean, she was brilliant for a kindergartner and so evil. She would do things and look at me and smile. And she had an IEP. And the IEP was oppositional defiant, which, of course, you can't suspend a kid if they got that diagnosis. So you got to just figure out how to control and get the best out of that kid you can. Now, I refuse to be beaten by a kindergartner. It wasn't going to happen. She was biting kids. She was spitting on kids, but would finish her work. That's the sad part. She was a genius. She'd finish her work and then sit around about, how can I plan some evil? Oh, I'm going to bite that dude right on his neck. So she was awful. So I get a call on the walkie-talkie. Yeah, I thought she's on the run again. Burst out the class, took off. We don't know where she at. So I'm running around the school building trying to find that kindergartner. Finally find her butt, and I'm thinking, God, dog, what can... Now, I done talked to her mom, and her mom like, Mr. Kevin, I don't know what to do with her. I mean, I whoop her. This girl wasn't scared of nothing. Her mama would threaten to whoop her. She would whoop her sometime. And I'm thinking, I got to outsmart this kindergartner. Everybody got something. Every kid got that shiny red button that you can push. You just got to figure the button out. So I brought her in my office. I said, okay, you don't want to be here. You're leaving class. You're walking all over the halls and stuff. Nobody know where you're at. You don't want to be. Okay, then just go. I'm sending you home. Go. So she looking at me like right now? I'm like, yeah, go. Matter of fact, come on. I walked back up to the classroom with her, grabbed her backpack, her jacket, put her on her, and I gave the teachers the wink. But kids can't, they don't see the wink. So I'm like, I'm about to send her home since she don't want to be in the classroom. And they go, okay. So I walk her downstairs, walk her to the front door. And I'm like, okay, at what point does this kid get scared? She ain't scared of nothing. I opened the door and said, go. She just looked back at me. I said, what's the holdup? You know how to get home, right? No. I said, that ain't my problem. That ain't my problem. You're out of the classroom. Hey, go, get out. So I pushed her out, closed the door. So I'm watching her. She can't tell I'm watching her. So she stood out there in the front of the school building for about 5 minutes straight, just sitting there. Didn't cry, didn't get scared. She was just going to wait it out. So I opened the door finally. I'm like, man, she ain't begging and scratching to get back in. So I opened the door. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you still out here? I thought you wanted to go home. Go. So she was like, I don't know how to get home. I said, well, you know what? I got a better place for you. Up the street was the JJC, Juvenile Justice Department. Center. So I grab her by her hand and I start walking her up to JJC. Now I'm committed. It was greater than me at this time. I'm committed to the whole skit. I walk her tail all the way up the street. She still ain't breaking down. I'm going, man, this little girl is built tough. I go in the front. I'm looking at the face. No fear, nothing. I walk up to the guy at the counter. I say, hey, man, how you doing? I'm the special ed coordinator down the street. And this little girl right here keeps running out of the classroom. So she got, I say, I think y'all might have a better place for her in the jail cell or something here. And he's like, oh, yeah, we definitely could lock her up here. I'm like, cool. Okay, see, listen, I'm going to leave you to go to jail. And I'll let your mom know where you're at later on, okay? All right, I'm out of here, okay? Take care. Man, I start turning. And here it was. I was like, yes, I found her button. I broke her. She ran over to me. Don't leave me. I was like, ooh, I'm going to use this on you every time. That's what they need to find. All those kids' buttons. Figure out what is it that's going to make these kids go, man, I ain't going down there. If you don't find that red button, they will run all over you. Boy, I threatened her with that the rest of the day. Hey, jail. Right up the street. Nah, she ain't want no more problems. That's what needs to happen to some of these kids. But, of course, Mayor Conehead's not going to do anything about it because it's a liberal city and he's a woke mayor and they voted that dude in. Voted blue, no matter who.
The writer can skip the warning, but as for that curfew, the mayor is not a yes just yet. But Alderman Brian Hopkins...
Not a yes just yet.
A 14-year-old shot a 15-year-old on the streets of downtown.
Yeah, but it's not a yes yet. Just for a curfew. What needs to happen for these liberal leaders to say, all right, enough is enough. People are going too far. Boy, that's not enough. We'll wait on it and see.
I don't see how anyone could hear that and not realize we must act.
Teen takeovers like this one a little over 2 weeks ago has had Mayor Brandon Johnson and Chicago police strategizing.
Now look at the cops. Look at the cops standing around looking at those teens because they know if we touch any of those scholars, we might lose our job. We go down there and might have to manhandle a kid of color. And all of a sudden, we're accused of racism. Who knows what could happen? In the worst case, you go down there, you throw somebody in the slammer, and guess what? They're released. No charges are pressed. So, if I'm a police officer up in Chicago in that blue city, where the folks voted blue no matter who, I ain't going down in that. Now, I'm going to let them all handle that themselves. But here we go.
To prevent
Look at
future
this.
incidents. Besides a much larger police presence that was seen this past weekend in locations teens plan to gather at, this past Friday night, there were rideshare restrictions warning riders not to come downtown.
There's a demand for action after a street takeover on Chicago's...
They listen? Did they listen, y'all? Warning them not to come downtown, y'all. This is what they do when you vote blue, no matter who. Look at these donuts and fireworks after telling them don't come downtown.
North side. Take a look at this cell phone video.
Look at that.
Captures the chaotic scene.
I want to know who the heck is shooting off the fireworks. Did they hire some type of fireworks dude? Did the thing going fire department come down there? We're paying the fire department to come down and shoot off fireworks as we do donuts in the middle of the street with tons of kids out there.
Early this morning at Ashland and Diversey in Lakeview.
Look at this.
In daylight, you can see the skid marks left behind. We received a number of complaints from people in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeehaw.
A viewer shared this video.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. That's what that looks like. I'm furious if I lived in Chicago where they voted blue no matter who, and I'm downtown trying to show a date, a good time, as we sit in a restaurant smelling burnt rubber and watching a fireworks show right outside the restaurant. That's what's happening up there in that joint.
Showing cars doing donuts as fireworks go off. Another neighbor told us he wants Mayor Brandon Johnson to take action.
Hell, who? Mayor who? Take what? That's a mayor for nothing. That's what that guy is. He ain't gonna do nothing because they voted him in because he's a black woke mayor. And now what they got is this.
I think he's too lenient. I think he needs to start being more aggressive with what's going on. I think he needs to add more police to the city, have them start doing something instead of just doing what they can. And I think they need to start nipping it and actually holding people accountable for their actions.
Fat chance of that. No, what needs to happen is y'all need to hold politicians more accountable for their actions. That's what needs to happen. See, because this guy right here is complaining. I guarantee if they stick the next woke mayor up there, they would end up voting him in too because he's blue. There you go. Yeah, and then they wonder why they get the same results. That's the results you get when you vote blue, no matter who. Yeah, swap Mayor Beetlejuice out for another woke mayor, and this is what you get. But there's more that they got up there in Chicago than just teens acting a fool. Let's see some more cases where they voted blue. Look at the kitties. Look at the kitties.
Well, the video shows officers responding to the scene, sending people running. But Chicago police tell us they have no information about the incident.
That's right. No information about the incident. They scattered like roaches when the lights come on.
Vote blue no matter who.
Look, howdy doody. Vote blue no matter who. Oh, wait. Here's another police officer in a woke city. Let's see if they allow these wonderful police officers to do their job up in that blue city. Wait, let me state. What state is this? I think this is, it might be Oregon or something. Let's see.
Individual had watched some folks get out of a Tesla. The individual then went to the liquor store. The people in the Tesla walked by. After that, they left the liquor store. They didn't buy nothing.
Okay.
And they went and scratched the Tesla.
Well, now you have no evidence of that, Mr. Police Officer, do you? You white natch. Oh, wait. Oh, he's a black. Well, it's obvious that police department is filled with systemic racism, starting from him and on down. That's what it is. So let's see him frame this person accusing them of king a Tesla with no evidence.
Here's the video.
Oh,
of them
dang on it.
walking by the Tesla. We need help identifying them.
There's your
If you know
evidence.
who this person is, please contact Detective Brown.
You can't miss that person. Looks like the Goodyear blimp. So now there that person is with that bad body. Boy, that's a bad body right there. But nonetheless, you could tell she's woke or she's non-binary or whatever she is. Here she goes.
The number is here at the bottom of the screen. And for the person who did this,
What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
we have this nice little video here for you.
Here at the Orange Jumpsuit District Inn and Suites, we have friendly staff who is ready to greet you.
Well, that's discouraging. Hopefully, that wasn't an idle threat. Because, see, when you got to go to somebody above your head and you don't know whether they're going to go ahead and undermine you, like two parents that ain't on one accord, it can mess your whole situation up. All your threats and everything gets undermined by the person above you that's undermining your threats. So let's see what happened to this person who was caught on video.
All right, that's what we got for you. $3,200 worth of damage is what took place here. Resist the Tesla temptation. Stop damaging these cars all around the country. And we're tired of our insurance rates going up. And what are you really accomplishing?
Nothing.
Knock this off.
Several days later.
Oh, here we go.
The suspect here is a woman in their late 20s.
Okay.
They
In jail?
turned themselves in.
Oh,
They were
good.
brought in with their family.
Okay.
They've been fully
Put in jail?
cooperative. The victim in this case just wanted their car fixed.
Okay, so we got a soft victim. We got a victim who's probably woke too. Now I don't want nothing to happen to him. You know what I mean? They crazy kids. Just pay me back. No, man. I'm like, lock her butt up. Teach her a lesson. Didn't Trump and them say that could be viewed as domestic terrorism? But let's see what happened to that man girl.
And they just wanted the suspect to pay for that. Based on the totality of the circumstances here, and along with our core value of being compassionate, this is the best outcome for everybody.
No. See, if you really want to be compassionate, you got to go ahead and teach this person a lesson. Because you know what? This person right here, if they just walk away from this, they're going to do it again. If you love your kids and all of that. You're chasing them. You spank that butt so that the streets don't have to do it. You teach them the lesson of consequences before the streets have to deal with them. But apparently, that's that kind of compassion that creates a snotty-nosed brat that thinks that they could just do anything they want and get away with it.
Involved in this case. But let me be clear here.
Uh-oh. I got a gut feeling that he don't agree with this decision. I got a gut feeling some woke DA above him probably told him, let it go. But so he's going to slide in a little jab to let everybody know who's really responsible for this Tesla terrorism.
In Bloomington, you probably have never heard me utter these words. The suspect in this case may have been a victim. And I mean victim in terms of the rhetoric that is being spewed out here by some of those in leadership.
Democrats, are you listening to this black man right here? Yeah, these dodo birds who I've been covering all week. Yeah, the folks who are victims to, all of the brainwashing, the Trump derangement syndrome, they're minions, the people who carry out all of the actions from the propaganda spewed by leaders that are reckless and irresponsible. Elon Musk is a threat to democracy. He needs to go back to Africa. Elon Musk is a Nazi. Elon Musk is... And what do you think is going to happen? People like that young, crazy girl guy, yeah, they don't have the ability to tell that, hey, they're manipulating me. So they go out and they carry out all of these acts of terrorism because of irresponsible people in the news and, of course, Democrat politicians.
We need our leaders to start leading and stop feeding this rhetoric.
Well, fat chance of that, because he is up in a full-blown blue state. Now, let me see. I think, it's coming up. Because, see, the DA is extremely woke, and you're going to be able to tell as soon as you see her.
People should be able to drive whatever car they want without fear of going into a store and someone scratching their car or people yelling at them because of the car that they choose to drive.
Yeah.
Vote blue no matter who.
So here we go. This is how the police feel about that same DA up there. Look at this.
It is flaring once again between the Hennepin County Attorney's Office and the Minneapolis Police Department.
Minneapolis. Now, right off grip, as soon as you hear that, you know they woke. Up in Minneapolis. Isn't that the place where the Summer of Love took place? Didn't they the George Floyd situation, and then of course, did they take over like some blocks? I don't know. It might have been Seattle, but who knows? But now watch this woke DA right here. Oh, this is what you get when you vote blue no matter who.
Over the decision by Mary Moriarty to not file any criminal charges against a man accused of causing more than $20,000 in damage to multiple Teslas across Minneapolis.
So he's a serial Tesla terrorist? That's a lot of damage. Surely this DA is going to make an example out of him in Minneapolis.
Officers tracked the man down using video like this one, recorded by 6 different Teslas that he vandalized across the city.
Wow.
At the time of his arrest, Chief Brian O'Hara alluded to this being an open and shut case.
Done involved the dog in the crime. Dog ain't got nothing to do with this. You're dragging the dog into your criminal activities and look like he looking dead in the camera right here. Let me get right now. Oh, what is this little circle thing right here I'm looking at? It's probably nothing. Right in the camera.
Case based on the quality of evidence. Morgan Wolf is breaking down the fallout in tonight's top story.
Just frankly, this is pretty stupid.
Last week, Minneapolis police announced they tracked down a man that had damaged a total of 6 Tesla cars in the metro.
There's high quality video on all these cars. It's committing a crime with a spotlight on you.
Chief Brian O'Hara's tone changed when he learned that Hennepin County District Attorney Mary Moriarty wouldn't be charging him.
What? 6 Teslas? I mean, look at him. He's right there. We all can see him. Don't you see him? I mean, between him and the dog, he's left evidence everywhere. If you can't identify him, all you got to do is find the guy walking the dog that looks like the dog in the video. But here this guy is, a serial Tesla terrorist, and that woke DA up in Minneapolis is not going to charge him, but she is going to punish him, y'all. Look how she punishes him.
Instead, he would be given an option called diversion to pay restitution to the victims.
Wow. Restitution is diversion. So guys, if you ever want to commit a crime, long as you're not a conservative, all right, or I'm sorry to tell y'all, if you're a white person that's upper to middle class and you're not gay and trans and stuff, that you're butt out. You're butt out. But if you're a person of color, you can go to these cities and states and have a ball. And all they'll do is make you pay it back at your convenience. At your convenience. Little bit off your check here, a little bit off your check there. So let's see how the police feel about this woke DA.
In this case, it's a little bit unusual that it hasn't even been charged. Typically, after the charging, it goes to diversion.
So usually you charge people first, then it goes to diversion. But this person is so woke. She said, forget the charges. We don't even want those on record that we charge you for vandalism. We're going to skip that part and go straight to the diversion. All we want you to do is pay it back. Now, here's a piece of paper. Here's a crayon. I want you to sign your name at the bottom of this piece of paper saying you're going to pay it back, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now go on out to you crazy kids. Stay out of trouble.
Shauna Kiefer points out that diversion programs are common for property damage cases. Moriarty's office sent us a statement emphasizing the man has no record.
So?
Saying in part, quote, we want to make sure that we are very clear. What he did was wrong, and we are holding him accountable for keying the cars.
Y'all hear this trash? That's in a blue state and city. So holding him accountable. What he did was wrong. So all we're going to do is make him pay it back if maybe. What if he don't pay it back? What if he goes bankrupt? What if he files bankrupt? I mean, this is ridiculous right here. So instead of giving him a record, she's like, I want to keep his record clean by not even charging this man. Because, you know why? He keyed a Tesla. And this DA is woke and she feels the same way about Elon Musk and Trump and all of them. That's why she's sympathetic to him. She probably wish she could have keyed a couple of Teslas too.
The man will need to pay restitution for the damage that is totaling up to $20,000. And if he doesn't,
could be charged and go back into the regular criminal proceedings.
Minneapolis police also sent us a statement saying they did their job. Any frustration related to the charging decision of the Hennepin County attorney should be directed solely at her office.
Y'all hear that? Even the police in these blue cities and states. Here you go, busting your butt to solve the crime. You like, what happened? This dude ain't even he ain't get no charge. You know how much video footage we had to watch? See, we did our job. Now it goes to the woke DA. All these people up there who's voting blue, no matter who, this is what you get.
Our investigators are always frustrated when the cases they pour their hearts into are declined.
There's waste and abuse.
The issue of vandalism of Teslas has risen to the White House. This is what the president said last month.
Well, I view these people as terrorists just like others.
To equate it with somebody who's committing actual acts of terrorism does a disfavor to the real terrorist acts.
Now you hear that guy?
To equate this with the people who do actual acts of terrorism.
I mean, don't they all have the same motive and agenda? A political agenda? They're trying to push a political, change through, intimidation, threats, violence, and stuff like that. Don't they all have this? I mean, you think it's just random that all of these people are simply picking Teslas to live out their childhood dream of vandalism? That's what it is. It's not coordinated. It's not motivated by anything. It's just random that all these Teslas are being targeted. That's what it is. So we don't want to go ahead and say it's politically motivated. Just so happened, thousands of people decided, I feel like vandalizing a Tesla has no correlation with a political agenda.
Out there.
Attorney Mike Brandt says that this case is about property damage. Diversion works to make victims whole again.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Good luck for all of those people getting that 20 grand out of that guy that walks his dog around keying Teslas. Good luck. But hey, they're in a blue city and state.
I think she's recognized that these types of things have such huge collateral impacts on people's lives.
Different prosecutors might charge that differently, but I think it's really important to keep politics out of charging decisions.
Yeah, real prosecutors would have charged that differently. They would have charged that guy with vandalism, and if they was in the right state and city, it would be domestic terrorism. There it is. $20,000 worth of damage. And he walks away with a promise. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll pay it back whenever. Okay.
Just within the last few hours, the Anoka County District Attorney Brad Johnson posted this on Facebook. Just so no one gets any silly ideas in the North Metro from this story, offenders who commit a crime spree causing tens of thousands in damages to multiple victims will not be approved for pre-charge diversion in Anoka County.
Oh, snap. So another DA in another county looked over yonder and said, that's woke land over there. That's what they're doing. That's how they're rolling. Just in case anybody over here gets any crazy ideas as they look over in that blue city or state where they're doing stupid stuff like that, that's not going to happen over here. That's not going to happen. See, these are the type of things that discourage these type of behaviors. When you let people know, don't even think about it. Yeah, your neighbor, your friend, your best friend, your kid, their parents let them stay out all night, let them cuss at them, go clean your room. You know what? You can bleep, 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 bleep. Oh, God, I tell you, stop talking to me like that. Don't you think that you can act a fool like them and get away with it? I wish you would say something like that to me. I'll go to work on you. So you got to set the tone, man. Let people know that all your friends getting away with stuff like that ain't going to happen in this household. So somebody did come to the rescue and expose this stupid, reckless, woke DA. But that's what you get when you vote blue, no matter who.
Adding, it makes it worse that the offender is a state employee in a position of public trust. He would likely become a felon in Anoka County.
Yeah. A state employee was doing that, y'all, and would become a felon. But he was rescued by a woke DA.
At odds.
There it is. There's the woke DA. Let's hear what they got to say about her.
The attorney's office is playing a dangerous game with these kids' lives.
Monday, following a violent weekend where 4 kids 14 and under were shot while in a stolen vehicle, and says at least 2 individuals from the stolen car were referred to charges of auto theft on August 9th.
Darn tootin'. So wait, kids getting shot in cars? Stealing cars, and the police catch them and refer them for some charges? Surely this woke DA is going to go ahead and charge these kids.
Adding that his team is in contact and gives referrals to the HCAO daily.
The kids weren't charged, they weren't diverted, but despite pleas from their parents.
The parents wanted them to be charged, but the DA is so woke, she bunny hopped over the parents.
Begging for help, begging for them to be detained. They were let back out into the street, into the same environment, to commit more crimes, which they did over the weekend.
Do you understand how woke you have to be to, what though, they shot some kids, and they're stealing cars? You know what? Let them go. And if you're a police officer in this state or city, you know how demoralized you are? That's why the crime is running rampant in woke blue cities and states. The cops don't want to participate because they're going for what? I mean, I just tracked down these crazy behind teenagers that's been shooting and stealing cars and sent them, and they didn't get no charges. Let them go. And guess what we hear over the radio? What? Oh, they're committing a crime again? That's what you get when you vote blue, no matter who. This is the type of stuff. I don't even know how these folks are still in, the dang on department. I don't know how these police officers are like, yo, man, I'm hanging in there. Why won't they all just move to Florida, move to Texas, somewhere, go get another job in a state or city that respects law and order? So now the kids went free only to commit a crime again.
He wants to see stricter consequences for these crimes and says parents do too.
We need to do more.
A top official says there's a new plan to stop car thefts by teenagers.
Well, here it is. Here comes the woke DA's new plan. Just like up there in Chicago, where it's another blue city, and they are that we're going to go ahead, overcomplicate things. All right, we got an app, and then we're going to send a signal that it traces the kid, and then we're going to send a message out to all of the, instead of just saying we're going to lock these kids up. But watch this. Here's their new plan.
As we've been reporting, carjackings and thefts have surged, especially those involving young people. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield shows us why some question the new prevention strategy.
Here she is.
Carjackings, car thefts, and car chases ending in catastrophe. And the offenders sometimes as young as 12.
Young as 12.
What we are trying to do.
There she is. Soon as you see her, What rings out? What jumps out at you? You know already. I'm gonna wear the man boxy girl suit that look more like a man suit. I'm gonna go ahead and rock the short lesbian haircut. We already know. Up in Minneapolis, boy, I tell you. Soon as I saw her, I was like, oh, no wonder. No wonder. So now she's gonna do something for the kids. Let's see.
Is intervene. This is a focused intervention.
The Hennepin County Attorney unveiled a plan to do just that, working with police departments to identify kids who could fall into trouble and giving support to parents who say they don't know how to handle their kids' behavior.
Lock them up. Could fall into trouble, but the parents say, I don't know how to handle. Just like that parent told me, I don't know how to handle that kindergartner's behavior. I whoop her, doesn't work. I had to go, she turned her over to me. That's what happened. Could you help me? In fact, she gave me the permission to whoop the kid if I wanted to. I didn't go that far. I was like, man, and she might change her mind after I go to work on this kid. Plus, she's a little girl. I'm not going to be hitting or spanking little girls. I'm a little softer when it comes down to little girls and little boys. I go to work on the little boys. But I wasn't going to spank her. I said, I'm smarter than this person. She's in the kindergarten. She's 5. And if I can't outthink her and figure out how to maybe get a reaction out of her, then shame on me. And the same thing with them. They are going too far. At the police, could you identify and then talk to the parents and see what if the parents say, I don't know what to do with them? And the police say, me either, because we can't lock them up.
We don't want youth to have records. And so what we want to do is intervene effectively and early on in the hopes that we can get the youth and their family services that they need.
Mary Moriarty.
You hear that trash? Yeah, you hear that wonderful philosophical plan that ain't gonna work? Once those kids say, wait a minute, let me understand. You're not trying to give me a record? This ain't gonna follow me anywhere? So you're just gonna have interventions and talk to me and tell me, do you know what do you feel? Why are you lashing out like this? What causes your behavior? You know what? Let police officers start talking to kids in that manner. Police officers are the people who show up to go ahead and implement some type of punishment. When they show up, there's no counseling. See, all of that stuff should be done by your family, your parents, and all of that stuff. But when the cops show up, they're not there to go ahead and start counseling. But that's what woke blue states and cities want to do. They want to, counsel the kids and say, we don't want to give them a record. So let them go ahead, act a fool until they do something so heinous because there's no consequences that record sticks. How about you catch them when they do something minor and you know that record is going to fall off? Get them for the little things so the little things don't become big things. But according to her, we don't want them to have a record.
He says community organizations and parents are key and that they're working together.
So I do think there's a definite bridge there.
We obtained a letter from Moriarty to Bloomington City leaders, Hodges' as bosses. In it, she criticizes...
Look at that. Boy, wokeness is all over her. Yeah, man. You already know. Boy, she is doing everything she can to look like a man. So now here's another, that's that black cop. That's that black cop, y'all.
It's Hodges and one of his officers who made offhanded comments saying she's unwilling to prosecute some drug cases.
And I don't have a problem with what they said because they told the truth.
But going to his bosses first is a quite different matter.
What? The problem is when you send that to mayor, city council, and city manager and all that, and you don't talk to me. In Ramsey County, I was the undersheriff. Never happened. I was the police chief in Prior Lake. Never happened. That's Scott County.
Our agency submitted.
Yeah, she don't want to talk to these police officers who are looking at her like, what kind of DA are you? You're making our job hard. Once the kids and the criminals realize we can't do nothing, they're going to have their way with us. They'll be committing crimes right in front of our faces, looking at us like, well, what you going to do? What you going to do? Like the one kid, when I taught in a high school who had an IEP, he was oppositional defiant, and a teacher was yelling at him in the hall, telling him what she was going to do. And the owner of the school, man, he gave the kids all the control, especially the ones with the IEPs, because he let that kid know how much he was worth because of an IEP. That kid told that teacher, She said, I'm going to get you expelled. He said, man, you crazy. Man, I got an IUD. Couldn't even say IEP. I got an IUD, man. I'm worth 20 grand. You'll be gone before I'm gone. And the teacher, all she could do was drop her head like, he's so right. He's so right. They leaked it out there that you don't have to listen to them. There's somebody above them that you got to be responsible for. Let kids or anybody get wind of that, and they're supposed to be respecting these guys, but the woke DA is letting them go. Man, these guys might as well just go ahead and quit. So here another police officer in a woke blue city that if you live in it, that's what you voted for.
In Golden Valley, Police Chief Virgil Green says Moriarty has made complaints about him too.
It's a dangerous weapon in the state of Minnesota.
Earlier this year, a student was arrested for using brass knuckles in a fight. Body cam shows an assistant principal telling officers he did not have the brass knuckles.
So now we got us a woke assistant principal who lying and trying to cover up for a kid that was using a deadly weapon in a fight.
But they were later found in his office.
Opens up his desk and pulls out the brass knuckles.
And Chief Green wanted him charged with felony obstruction.
Yeah, you hid the evidence? Dude, you got to go.
Moriarty declined that charge. Green says she called the mayor, telling her the principal could lose his license and job.
Tough, you know what? Y'all see this mess? That he could lose his job and license. We don't want to do that. That man covered up a crime. And yet, she let him go.
It was more concerned about, this individual could lose his certification. Not so much concerned about the injuries to the student.
Green said,
forget the kid that got beat by the brass knuckles. She want to make sure they keep all of these woke, probably, principles and stuff up there. Because you got to be woke. In that education system up there in Minneapolis, they ain't going to hire, they ain't going to principals and stuff like that that's going to be tough on the kids. Yeah, they're trying to instill more woke ideology and doctrine in those kids. So most likely he's doing the bidding of the same thing that the DA would have did, which is covering up the crime or let the kid go. So now these police officers are lashing out about this woke DA. But what can you do when you vote blue?
Says he's never witnessed the county attorney go this far.
Vote blue no matter who.
That's what you
She
get.
would have called me up on the phone and said, hey, Chief, can we sit down and can we talk about this? That would have been a lot more respectful.
Yeah.
Chicago, back to Chicago, y'all. Because we got some more updates on what happens when you vote blue no matter who. Look what's going on up in Chicago. Y'all remember this? First of all, let's go back for a quick second. September 2023, right? Y'all remember this?
That toddling town. Dozens more migrants are now calling Chicago home tonight, arriving in the city by bus today. We have team coverage tonight, live from a border city where those buses start their journey. But we begin with CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez, taking our questions about how the city will handle the recent influx of asylum seekers right to Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Whee! We're coming to you, woke Mayor Brandon Johnson, on buses. Yeah, they're calling Chicago home, not their own home, though. Not the home that they just came from. And now all of a sudden they're making claims to Chicago. And notice the guy introducing the topic never said illegal immigrants, the migrants. There you go. Migrants came to Chicago. So let's see how Brandon Johnson handles these migrants.
Maribel?
Yeah, Joe, here in our newsroom, we've been keeping track of those numbers. We know that since last August, more than 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago, more of them coming in tonight just hours ago. And with aid and shelter running thin, we asked Mayor Brandon Johnson if the city of Chicago would continue to be a safe haven.
Anybody want to guess what his answer is? Huh? See, anybody? Now, do you think he's going to come out? Absolutely not. This is crazy. They're overflooding the system. We don't have enough resources. Send these people back. Shouldn't have never came over across the border illegally anyway. You think he's going to be like, send them back? Nope. Look what he says.
Police station saturated, volunteer stretched thin. With all of that said, will Chicago continue to be a welcoming sanctuary?
See that cone head?
Yes.
A Southside Home Depot is at the center of growing community frustration. Customers and neighbors say the store has become a magnet for migrant loitering and harassment.
What? See what you get when you vote blue, no matter who? See, that was a year and something ago where he could have went ahead and handled it and denounced being a sanctuary city and said, you know what, let's get some of these. But no, he said he's going to fight for them. Yeah, he said he's going to protect all Chicagoans. See, he never distinguished between the legal ones and he just called them all Chicagoans. And now look what's happening up there in Shitetown, where they voted blue, no matter who, as they're going to shop.
Some residents tell us they no longer feel safe visiting this store. They're calling on the city and on Home Depot to step in.
It's not going to happen.
Well, Scott and Dawn, it's not unusual, right, to see people outside Home Depot looking for work, but customers and neighbors say the crowds have grown significantly, now fueled by an influx of migrants.
Migrants? Oh my. No, illegal immigrants. How about you go ahead and call them the real title, that they're illegal immigrants hanging out in front of stores. I get mad when I get harassed by one homeless person in front of some business that I got to go through. I'm going, now see, he's right there. He knows I can't miss him. He's sitting right in front of the door. Why don't somebody come out and say, hey, buddy, move along. Don't make my customers uncomfortable. I try to walk with the blinders on immediately as I'm walking through. Head down, buried in the phone. Knowing, hey, excuse me. This used to be this lady. She was homeless. And she was really on drugs. You always could tell the crackhead. And she's looking around. She got that crack look around and stuff like that. And I'm up here pumping gas in Cincinnati. And she would be at this particular gas station every time. And she would ask me for the craziest percentages of money. And she would say the same story every time. Here I am pumping. I'm like, don't look, Kev. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. And you could tell she's walking. She'll stop. Come up to me. Excuse me. My car broke down up the street. My kid's in the car, and we just need a little bit of gas. You wouldn't happen to have $1.72 with you? And I'm like, $1.72? Why not $2? Why not you round it down to 150 or round it up to 2? But you're asking for $1.72. And I would be like, no, I'm sorry, I don't carry cash. She would walk off. Next thing you know, she come right back with the same story, like she forgot she just talked to me. Excuse me. I'd be like, what? Let me guess. You need $1.72? Same all the time. Run it back, just like that. I would sometime avoid that gas station just because I didn't want to see her. One person. But now up in Chicago, since now they're overwhelmed with illegal immigrants, look what's happening.
Say it's turned shopping and even just walking down 87th Street right near the Dan Ryan chaotic. Over the weekend, this was a scene outside the Home Depot in Princeton Park on Chicago's South Side, and it's drawing a growing concern. Complaints are pouring in from customers and neighbors who say they're being harassed by groups of alleged migrants crowding the parking lot.
That's what you get. Hey, you voted blue and you got it. There it is, man. You think Mayor Johnson is trying to set a curfew for these people? You think he's trying to go ahead and say, hey, look, man, y'all making the city look bad. But see, I don't just blame him. I mean, what you gonna do when you vote blue, no matter who? See, these people who are frustrated by all of this fallout, hopefully they'll learn. Hopefully they'll learn and not vote another stupid Democrat in up there to run it back.
This video shows dozens of people gathered near the entrance, many of them, customers say, approaching cars and following people into the store in hopes of getting work. One customer told us it's become an unsettling experience just trying to shop.
Just to shop.
The man, 4, 5, 6. And they're asking you, can I clean your car? Can I wash your windshield? What? And even when you're coming out, they like waving their hands for you to stop, like you just hit them or something.
This could be you too, if you vote blue, no matter who. See, that's what you get. Yeah, for all of those blue cities and states, this could be coming to a city near you if you vote blue. Let's continue.
Won't that be fun?
Neighbors say trash has piled up. A street food vendor has taken over the sidewalk. People feel unsafe, and little, if anything, has been done to...
Of course little or anything is going to be done when you live in a blue city and a woke mayor like him overlooking that, because he don't have to go and shop down there. He probably lives in a different area and he goes to a different place. He don't want to hear your complaining and stuff. We already know none of that mattered to him. When we would watch those weekly meetings, city council meetings, and they would come in there and give him the business. Verbal beating after verbal beating. And it ain't coming from white folks, black folks. And he still would walk straight out. We're going to defend our migrants. We're still a sanctuary city. And this is what you get. You get doo-doo when you vote blue, no matter who. That's what you get. Doo-doo.
To address this, a former Home Depot employee described it as a failure on the part of both the company and the city, saying the lack of action is only making things worse.
Yeah.
They're impeding on traffic. They're outside. It's just so many of them where,
so many.
To me, it's unsafe.
Call Trump. Where is the I'm sorry. Mayor Wokeness said he was going to fight. He was never going to give up his illegal immigrants to Tom the Hammer Hole, man. Oh, yeah, man. Trump right there. Trump is coming in trying to take his precious illegal immigrants. Hey, he was mad about that. Talking about he will fight tooth and nail to keep them. And look what they're doing. Hey, he's not worried about the regular American citizens up in that dang on city right there being harassed and scared to shop. And Chicago, if something doesn't happen real soon, it's going to fall to pieces. But there's more. See, it ain't just that. We done went through a couple woke cities. By now, folks should should be getting the hint. This is what you get. All of these have something in common. They're all blue cities and states. They all have Democrats making these choices that cause these things to happen. But we're not through.
Vote blue no matter who.
Told you. Well, Newsom, let's go on out to California. You know we couldn't get out of here without letting Cali have it. Going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Man, I don't think so. Let's see what's happening up in California.
You've probably heard that Canadian tourism to the U.S. has dropped. What's surprising is by how much. The U.S. Travel Association warned in February just a 10% drop in Canadian tourism would cost the U.S. about $2 billion. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom is trying to bring some of those tourists back here to our state. Today, the governor and Visit California launched a new international tourism campaign.
Oh, you see this? What you gonna do up in that blue state? So here's Gavin, the slick oil nuisance, telling everybody from Canada to come on down. Y'all, yeah, go ahead, sell it to him, Gavin.
It's aimed at inviting Canadians to visit California to experience the state's, quote, warmth and love.
California. What about the crime? What about the killing? What about all these illegal immigrants? Oh, yeah, you left that out?
It's the ultimate playground, 2,000 miles from Washington and a world away in mindset. From our iconic beaches and national parks to world-class wine, food, and outdoor adventure, there's something here for everyone.
Everybody. Yeah, especially the criminals and the illegal immigrants. Yeah, they got everything there, okay? So there it is, the slick oil, the salesman right there. Come on down to Cali. Let's see what you can see if you come.
Last year, nearly 2 million Canadians visited California because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love for our neighbors up north. Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of...
Whenever they slow it down like that, that must mean something bad is about to happen.
Love.
Last Friday around 7 p.m., I was buying a frozen pizza, among other things, at a San Francisco Walgreens, and suddenly heard quite the commotion.
Uh-oh. Look at those two scholars. Rearranging.
3 males ransacking the makeup section of a Walgreens store at First and Mission.
No. Don't you be accusing these 3 males of ransacking. They're just rearranging. They're helping with reorganizing all of the makeup. First of all, why are 3 guys in there stealing all this makeup? That's the funny part. They're probably going to sell it to all the ladies. But nonetheless, look at them. Unabated, not even afraid. Just like out in Chicago, that woke blue city, where they was out there having a good time with donuts. Now look at this.
Mission Street this past Friday night in San Francisco. In the video that I recorded as I was shopping there, you can see the individuals fill up bags and backpacks, then run out of the store untouched by what appears to be security taking video.
The security is emasculated. There's no way in the world you could pay me enough money to be a security guard in a location out in California or any of these woke cities or states. You're a security guy for nothing, man. First of all, most of these dudes ain't even allowed to carry a gun. I mean, they don't hire real cops. They hire dudes, man, that just walk around and point out the crimes. Got a walkie-talkie and maybe bust out the cell phone. I got you guys on video. You better not come back here again. So as they confidently rob that store in daylight, because it's not even dark, in front of the security guard. Yeah, come on to Cali. This is the experience you'll get when you come to that blue woke state.
Somebody's got to stop them.
No, don't let him go.
Look at that.
This Walgreens store is one of just a few remaining locations in San Francisco's financial district.
What?
Back in January of this year, Walgreens announced the closure of 12 other stores in San Francisco.
I say that's the California way.
Bingo!
Theft seen in this video comes at a time when San Francisco police have recently pointed to year-over-year lower crime numbers in all areas, including larceny thefts like this. Employees at this store, though, mentioned to me that this is nothing new.
Nothing new.
See officers at the store.
Nothing new when you vote blue, no matter who. See, you through if you vote blue, no matter who. Yeah, don't you be talking about I'm gonna open up me a store out in California in nasty Pelosi land. That's in San Francisco. And they're after robbing that bad boy blind, shutting down all those stores. Because of racism, I'm sure. Those stores shutting it down because of white supremacy and racism.
Or during or after this theft, but online
Look, the cop is just standing there, right? I mean, or should I say the security guard is there pleading with them. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Man, stop. Man, look, man, come, you're right in front of me. Y'all couldn't have waited till I went to the bathroom. Y'all know I ain't got no gun, man. I can't do nothing, man. Y'all got to be better. Y'all got to do better. That's all you can do when you vote blue, no matter who.
Data shows it was reported a short time later, and the loss was more than $950.
Look at that.
We have reached out to Walgreens to see if any additional measures have been put into place at this store in addition to locking up items, but have not heard back. Certainly an unsettling feeling when you see that happen in person.
Yeah.
Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love.
A whole lot of crime.
Vote blue no matter who.
That's what you get when you vote blue, no matter who out there in California. But guys, that was nothing compared to this next situation that's going on out in California, y'all. Because it's about to get real. See, I mean, having those stores robbed ain't got nothing to do with you if you voted blue, no matter who. But these next couple clips is going to show you what could happen to you if you vote blue, no matter who.
Immigrant in California who is being let out of prison after 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
The problem is he was sentenced to 10 for killing two 19-year-olds.
This illegal immigrant. See, you notice when I get serious when these folks come up. This illegal immigrant who shouldn't have been in the country killed two Americans, okay, and was supposed to be doing 10 years, but they let him out in 3.
Anya Varfolomeev and Nikolai Osokin. The victims were unlucky enough to be traveling down the 405 freeway in Orange County, California, back in 2021 when Ortega and Guino struck them, going 100 miles an hour, drunk and high.
100 miles per hour, drunk and high. And you know, when the idiots end up wrecking into somebody and killing them, they never get killed. The drunk drivers somehow survive all the time. But they kill folks. Maybe their bodies relax because they're so drunk. But here's this illegal immigrant that shouldn't have been in the country, driving reckless, drinking, and probably like, it's okay. We're in America. If we do something, we get caught. We kill somebody jealous. Nothing here compared to what would happen if I was back in Mexico. I could do the time here, most likely. They'll let me out early anyway because we're illegal immigrants in a blue city in a state. So here we are, driving and kills 2 people. What happened to them?
The young couple didn't die on impact. Instead, they burned alive.
Now, that could be anybody. Yeah, there you go. That could be you if you vote blue, no matter who. See, that's when it starts getting personal. Yeah, the other stuff is like, oh, yeah, that's pretty funny and this and that. But when you start dealing with states and cities who are sanctuary cities, who encourage illegal immigration, this is the stuff that could happen. Now, you would think this would turn the whole state inside out. You would think they would stop the press. They would rush down to these parents and say, man, God, I'm so sorry that this person happened. Man, we're going to lock this dude away forever. But watch this.
But somehow, under California's twisted legal logic, 3.5 years is sufficient. The families of the victims feel differently. The world should feel differently. And what makes this tragedy worse is that Ortega Anguino was deported twice.
Twice. You see this? Anybody could be in this photo. Any one of us right now. I mean, granted, if this happened because of an American acting a fool, and they killed somebody, it sucks. But at least you don't have to always be thinking to yourself, this would have never happened if this person was held accountable and not been in the country. Deported twice? How did he get back in the country to do this to my daughter or my son? Any one of us on the highway right now could be a victim of these dudes who would only do 3 years if you were in California because they're woke. 3 years. You know how quick 3 years go by? Boy. So, yeah, California.
In 2016 and 2018
Y'all hear that? So in 2016, Trump deported him. He snuck back in. Trump deported him in 2018. But guess what? Right when Biden got in.
Back to Sanctuary, California, and killed. What about justice for these teens? What about the rights of their parents? The Justice Department will work with ICE to make sure this illegal alien receives full punishment for his crimes.
So, you get it? Are you getting the picture now? Are you understanding this could be you if you vote blue, no matter who? So let me understand this. After being deported, he got hipped. He was like, oh, if we come back, we got to come back to a place where politicians protect us. If we're going to be in a state or a city illegally drinking and speeding, we might as well do it in a woke state or city where they will do anything they can to protect us, keep us out of jail, make sure no light is shined on our corruption and our crimes, be empathetic to us, maybe walk us through due process, all of the stupid stuff we hear coming out of these woke blue states and cities. And it ain't real to you until it happened to you or somebody you know. Yeah, when these things happen to folks in those states and cities, I guarantee you the parents of these two people, if they did vote blue no matter who, they're going, man, we through. We voted blue no matter who, and this is how they treat us American citizens. So let's hear about why this person got released, because Pam Bondi is like, we need to do something about this. That right there seems like a miscarriage of justice.
The dad of one of the victims, of one of the 19-year-olds, said he feels like they just spit on him.
Absolutely. That's what you get in those blue cities and states if you're an American. See, that's the whole key. If you're an American and something happened to you for voting blue, no matter who, well, you just through. I'm rhyming all over the place. Let's continue.
And did you know that the families of the victims found this out? They found out that this guy was going to be released early on Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter. There you go. So now what is this person going to do as they let him out of prison at 3 years? Go right back out into a blue state or city. Who knows? You think they're going to deport him? They should have ICE waiting right there as soon as they open the jail cell.
Easter Sunday. Can you imagine? It's just heartbreaking. And you know what? This guy, who's a criminal and a murderer, in addition to being an illegal immigrant, twice deported, as you said, the only reason this guy should be getting out of prison early is to get deported back to where he came from once and for all.
But don't worry, because if they do that, the Democrats will rush down there to his defense. Democrats will probably go, bring him back. No, let him go. Yeah, the Democrats would love a photo op with this dude. D needs due process. He did his time. He only did 3 years. Now he has the right in our country. This is the stuff, man, that when you hear about stories like this, and then you just sit back and think, how many times could this have been avoided if these folks would have been doing the right thing as the leaders of these states or cities? And even worse, If one of them hide out in a blue city or state and then end up sneaking out, migrating towards me in Ohio that ain't a sanctuary city, yeah, and something happened to me, and I'm going, wait a minute, y'all could have stopped or locked this dude up in California, in Portland. You could have locked this dude up, but you didn't. You let him go ahead, and even worse, might even gave him a plane ticket. Might even give him a plane ticket. Or where you want to go? You want to go visit some of your friends or family? After we'll give you a plane ticket to Ohio. And something happened to me or my family. Do you understand? I'm not going just after them. I'm like, whoa, how many cities or states and DAs did this person encounter and got through it to get to my friend, my family, my lovers, or me? I want all of them to be held accountable as well. But hey, you can't get too mad at them, because all of this crap that's happening in the states and cities is because people voted blue no matter who.
I also think this shows why Gavin Newsom is never going to be president, no matter what he thinks.
Never gonna make it. That's right. He's never gonna make it because he left all of these liberal crumbs all over the place. Now he's trying to be a moderate.
Because he's complying now. But right after President Trump was sworn in, a month later, Gavin Newsom signed legislation in California. California is a sanctuary state, and Gavin Newsom is the architect and the protector of it. And he signed legislation allotting $50 million, anticipating cases like this from the federal government.
Y'all remember that? When he was Trump-proofing the state so he could protect people like that dude that was in the jail? Remember that, y'all? He was prepared. He should have been putting out fires and doing all of that. But right in the midst of that, they decided to spend money to Trump-proof the city and the states and stuff that are sanctuary cities and states. How in the world can people in California tolerate that? I just don't get it, man. I mean, voting blue to your own demise. Y'all don't see how reckless these raggedy behind S-hole ran Democrat cities and states are? At what point do the people say, look, man, I might be woke and stuff, but I got to live too. I need safety too. I need to be able to shop too. I need to be able to go someplace and not feel like I'm harassed by illegal immigrants, or I need to be able to feel like I could go downtown without teens doing donuts and stuff like that. I need to feel like I could get out of my car and walk into the store and not have that look over my shoulder like it's the last time I'm ever going to see my car. Oh, man. I probably won't see the man truck when I go in. Right now, I got friends in New York. I got friends in Chicago. But you think I'm going to go jump in my car and go visit? Not until they pull this mess together. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting my life at risk going to any woke blue state or city. So let's continue, though, because it gets worse.
To protect illegal immigrants.
Vote blue no matter who.
Exactly is this court
Look at
saying?
these blue judges.
So this is a block of a block, Jose. What that means essentially is that the federal government, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice had put out earlier this year executive orders and directives saying that if you are a sanctuary city, you are going to lose federal funding.
Darn right. Now, why are these woke judges getting their big fat noses in Trump's business when it comes to how the executive branch divvies out money? Isn't he over the purse? I mean, doesn't he decide which cities and states and stuff should get money that they don't deserve? They're not, it ain't obligated to give it to them. They don't want to comply with executive orders, federal laws, so they shouldn't get the money. But then you got these woke judges.
This is a judge saying, no, actually, the Trump administration can't do that. So the plaintiffs in this case were 5 sanctuary cities. They include San Francisco, Santa Clara, California, Portland, Oregon, King County, Washington, and New Haven, Connecticut. That's in total millions of dollars worth of federal funding that was going to these cities that the Trump administration wanted to stop. A judge said today they can't do that.
Man, we got to do something about these judges, man. We got to do something about these woke behind lower level federal judges that are just they are wreaking havoc right about now, slowing down everything, overstepping their boundaries. And yet the fake news, that's a constitutional crisis. That's the constitutional crisis. These folks, they know what they're doing. The Supreme Court better go ahead and rule on something real quick, and better do it right. They better do it right. Because see, man, this right here could be a cork in the whole agenda to get rid of all of these illegal immigrants and to hold these blue cities and states accountable. Burns me up. These raggedy woke judges. And look what's starting to happen to some of these judges.
The judge also said today that it was a violation of the Fifth Amendment, calling it unconstitutional and violating due process, and also saying it violates the Constitution's separation of powers.
Separation of powers while you're sticking your nose in the executive branch's powers. But it's a separation of powers.
This is certainly a significant ruling in this larger conversation about the immigration efforts that are being undertaken by the Trump administration.
So here we go, y'all.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member facing federal charges after he was arrested in Doñana County. Reporter Alyssa Munoz is here with court documents showing this man was living on a judge's property.
A judge's property. Probably one of the woke judges that would definitely try to block Trump's agenda. He went the extra step. But look what happened to him. Now, I talked about this woke judge last night, y'all. Y'all remember? I talked about him in the context of he's now going to get some open hearing or something from the Supreme Court. But guess what had happened,
That's right. This is a picture of the pair from court documents. Now, shortly after Lopez's arrest, Judge Joel Cano resigned. 2 days later, the Judicial Standards Commission petitioned for the Supreme Court to suspend Judge Cano.
In late February, Homeland Security investigations arrested Christian Ortega Lopez for being in the United States illegally since December of 2023 and for possessing a firearm. Originally, officials were going to
2023. Let me see. Who's president then? Well, technically Joe Biden was supposed to be the president, but he don't remember. What? I was the president when? So nonetheless, came in under mucus.
To release him on conditions, but the government appealed that, bringing more evidence against him.
They said, look, Judge, we want you to put him back in custody because we have information that we didn't have the first time around that links him to this TDA gang, violent Venezuelan gang.
According to court documents, Lopez was staying in Las Cruces in a casita behind Judge Cano's house. In his post-Miranda interview, Lopez says he met Cano's wife after doing jobs for her. In the documents, it says she offered him to stay on their property after he was evicted. He adds he was also introduced to Cano's daughter, who, according to officials, allowed him to hold and sometimes shoot her firearm.
Now, why would you introduce a gang member to your daughter? Do you trust these dudes that much? They just got to the country in 2023, and you got them living around your family? How dumb these Democrats got to get? You're introducing him to your daughter, and he's a full-blown gang member. Gamer, you think maybe they could have even hooked up, and he'd become a respectful man and all of that stuff? But no, the judge was up there posing with him. His daughter was up there letting him shoot weapons. So let's see what happened.
Who are these sick people?
I don't know. Uh-oh. What you gonna do?
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement have arrested a former New Mexico judge and his wife. This after federal law enforcement learned their tenant, an alleged Tren de Aragua gang member, was arrested at his home.
Ooh, bang! So it went from, let me just go ahead and resign and kind of just drift off, and hopefully they don't come after me and say nothing. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, oh, y'all took them away from us. You took our precious gangbangers away. Okay, my fault. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and step down. No, you're good. Stay seated. Stay seated. Y'all ain't gotta get up. I'm gonna leave. Didn't work that way. Yeah. So now all of a sudden, it went from I'm a step down and they're gonna just have this court hearing to I'm in jail.
And we're also learning other Venezuelan nationals were arrested and are in HSI custody. An ICE spokeswoman says the former judge, Joel Cano, and his wife, Nancy Cano, was taken into custody earlier today as part of an ongoing HSI-led criminal investigation.
Now, let me ask y'all a question. Do you think this would have happened to them under mucus? Do you think we'd have ever found out or heard about these gangbangers living with this judge if mucus and Biden was, or if Kamala would have won? Do you think they would have been arresting these people? No, they'd have been praising them. Look at that. You're doing a great job. There you go. You're welcoming these people in and helping them go ahead and assimilate into American citizens.
Now, this was at a home on North Raymond Street in Las Cruces, New Mexico. As KTSM has reported, former Doñana County Magistrate Judge Joel Cano rented out his, quote, casita, or a small home, behind their own home.
These people are crazy.
Yes, you see what dumbness will get you? These people are crazy. risking their full-blown careers, reputations, and all of that, like the Democrats that are going down to El Salvador to meet with all of these gangbangers as well. But this guy went one step further. He said, forget going down there to meet them. I'm going to bring them here and let them live in my crib, hang around my wife and daughter. And look what happened.
These people are crazy.
They met when his wife hired Ortega Lopez to install glass.
Yeah.
The district attorney's office says Ortega Lopez was seen with multiple firearms in pictures that were posted on social media.
Now, what kind of impression could this gangbanger illegal immigrant have made to make these people say, you know what, he's like a son to us. Let's bring him in and let him stay at our crib. Along with taking pictures with them, allowing them to take pictures with guns that we own. This is not a very smart judge. So now him and his family is in the slammer.
The feds seized those firearms and arrested Ortega Lopez in February. He allegedly admitted to entering the country illegally in 2023.
What? That's not enough evidence that he admitted to entering the country illegally. There's no evidence. There's no evidence. I'm sure the Democrats will come to his rescue. He's not in a gang. There's no what? Oh, he told the judge that he was in a gang. Oh, but that, you know what? It hasn't been litigated. You know what? The due process. They will come to this guy's defense. Guarantee you.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
Blue, no matter who.
And that's what you get. Oh, another woke judge? Look at this one, y'all. In a blue city and state.
Is premised on equal justice, but also we have evolved into due process.
Due process.
And it's really the due process. I, as a person who, for a couple decades almost, represented low-income people.
Low-income people. It's about due process. Saying, you hear the Sodom music in the background as she talks about due process.
It is due process that really equalizes those differences between people. If we follow the rule of law, then we're able to achieve that equal justice that we are promised and hope to have.
Yeah, that's that breakdown music at the end of church when they start getting ready to do the offering. There it is. As she's talking, look at her. She made sure she got a couple different angles using the hands. Due process. It's the great equalizer that brings us all together. All of that stuff sound great. I bet you she feeling real woke. And now about to become a joke.
Continue despite our differences, despite our class differences, despite our racial and religious differences.
A few moments later.
Judge, anything to say about this?
Where you going? Why are you getting in that car? Trying to hide your face and everything? I want to hear about the due process, and it's about the great equalizer, and it's about bringing people, the marginalized people, and the rule of law, the rule of law. Let's see what rule of law she violated that now she's arrested.
FBI Director Kash Patel says a U.S. judge has been arrested for obstructing an immigration operation. Let's go live right now to our senior crime and justice correspondent, Caitlin Paula. It's pretty dramatic. What are you learning, Caitlin?
Truly, Wolf, this is something that we have certainly not seen before, but appears to be part of this aggressive approach the Trump administration has.
No. This ain't a part of the aggressive approach the Trump administration. No, it's a part of the aggressive approach that these radical behind judges, DAs, and Democrats are in regards to harboring illegal immigrants in our country. That's the radical aggressive approach. They're trying to make it seem like it's Trump's and them fault. They're the ones that's being radical and aggressive. No, it was aggressive when Biden got up there and said, you know what? If I was down, surge that border. And millions of them start coming as you lied to us every day talking about the border secure. This is not a crisis. This is seasonal. It's because of, we need the Congress to act. We can't do nothing. As y'all sat back and did that for 3 or 4 years, bringing these people in, now you're talking about it's Trump's radical or aggressive approach towards deportation. No, this sounds radical and aggressive when you hear what she did. They made Kash Patel put his foot up her tail.
toward immigration. What the FBI Director Kash Patel announced in a social media post just a few minutes ago this morning is that just now the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
What? The same due process, Dugan, is about the rule of law. Where's my piano list? Will my piano list be with me while I'm in jail?
On charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week. We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse. Eduardo Flores Ruiz is the name that the FBI director was out there about.
She didn't. Just like back when Trump was the president before, where that one judge snuck that illegal immigrant out the back door. Go out that way. Go out that way. So she was like, hey guys, hurry up, come quick. He went that way. You telling me she pointed ICE in the wrong direction, knowing that this guy probably slipped out the back door? But it's a new regime, new day. So Kash Patel had to step in and put his foot up her tail. I wonder if she's worried about due process now.
That subject, allowing the subject to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But
so now she got arrested for nothing. They still caught the guy. But because she's so woke, and now she's going ahead and going up the river because she wanted to save this illegal immigrant.
Judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public. So that's the FBI director laying out this apparent story and the developments this morning of what is happening with this arrest. We have reached out to the Milwaukee County Circuit Court, which is where the judge sits, Judge Hannah Dugan. They have not responded yet. And there isn't any publicly available information in the court record about this, but it would be a startling development if this judge was arrested.
No, it's not. Yeah, what do you mean, startling development? Yeah, she went ahead and obstructed justice. What are you talking about, startling development?
As she was working on the bench as a judge handling an immigration case or a case of a person that ICE was also interested in.
Now, she ain't doing much more than all of these other woke judges that are filing these injunctions to stop Trump. She ain't doing much more than that. They're just doing it in a different way. They're just putting it on paper. And they're doing it on a mass level versus an individual that's sliding out the back door and they're saying, go get him. He went that way. They're doing the same thing, but they're just covering their back. And somebody needs to stop that garbage. But here's Pee Wee Herman right here.
Vote blue no matter who.
There's some bloodshed throughout the United States. We've gotten a lot of them out of here. Big percentage, but the rest are coming. They'll be out of here quickly, right?
Yeah, because that's what we voted for you to do, Trump. Get all of these gang members out of here. Now, notice all those police officers behind them. You think that they're worried that if they go ahead and put their finger on an illegal immigrant or somebody, Trump's going to go ahead and call them white supremacists and white nationalists and say that this is worse than slavery and they were down there whipping Haitians and all the stuff that the Democrats accuse people who were just doing their jobs to keep the country safe? You think they're worried about that? Nope. They got full confidence that if he get in, he's going to handle it. So now this was back in the day when he was telling them, if I get in, we're getting all of these gangbangers out the country. However, there is one gangbanger that people are still indecisive over, or at least the dumb people. Yeah, so let's see what this, wonderful police officer is about to close out the show has to say about that gangbanger that they said there's no evidence of.
Exactly. Good.
How about that? That was President Trump in his first term 8 years ago talking about MS-13, speaking to a crowd of police cadets on New York's Long Island, emphasizing his commitment to getting rid of the violent Salvadoran gang MS-13.
MS-13. You mean the ones that are all children of God, according to Nancy Pelosi? You mean them MS-13 people that all of those Democrats are down in El Salvador trying to bring back here?
Notorious transnational gang has long cast a deadly shadow over a cluster of suburban towns on Long Island and several other communities across New York.
So they're wreaking havoc on the Democrats' watch, but not on Tom the Hammer Holman's watch. Yeah, all of that havoc got to go underground. You would think they would lay low. They know they're being hunted right about now. And I'm loving it. I want them scattering all over the place, running for their lives, and be apprehended and sent back to their home countries. But the Democrats are not on it, guys.
And despite major law enforcement crackdowns, the threat remains real and evolving today. Now, the deportation of Kilmar Obrego
there that name is again, y'all. The one they made famous. Killer Obrego or whatever his name is, guys. Yeah, there's some dispute about whether he's really MS-13 or not. So let's get a qualified police officer to weigh in on this.
Garcia has reignited international debate about what it means to be a gang member. There's a lot of evidence to support the claim that Kilmar Obrego Garcia is or was at some point a member of MS-13.
Well, not according to the Democrats. There's no evidence. Well, he do have the markings on the hands. There's no evidence. He did get arrested with a whole bunch of other MS-13 people. There's no evidence. Well, he has the paraphernalia of MS. There's no evidence. So let's see.
Especially according to this administration. President Trump held up this image of tattoos on his knuckles, saying together they represent MS-13. So we're going to bring in Errol Toulon Jr., the sheriff in Suffolk County on Long Island. He recently traveled to El Salvador to see firsthand how authorities there are tackling the MS-13 crisis, what it means for the neighborhoods, how he can apply that here at home.
Wait a minute. So he went down there to El Salvador to get a real close look to be able to just, understand the culture, MS-13, gang, all this stuff, their signals, their signs, their all markings and stuff like that. And he learned something down there about instilling fear in criminals. See, unlike our Democrats who are letting killers out of jail after 3 years of killing somebody and watching them burn to death in a car, yeah, this dude is implementing some serious consequences. Look how that prison is ran down there, y'all.
Sheriff, good to see you, and thank you for that. Talk about your visit first and foremost.
Tell us.
What did you see there? Did you learn anything about MS-13 and how to combat that?
Yes, I visited El Salvador twice, April of 2018 and then also September of 2023. A new administration in 2023 with President Bukele. And clearly they had built CCOT, which was a $130 million jail, built over 9 months where all concrete production was stopped in El Salvador to build this. In this facility, there are 42 cells, 21 on each side, 60 to 70 individuals per cell.
42 cells, 50 to 60 individuals per cell, no privacy, packed in there like Haitian. They're not there for some type of joyride. They're not on vacation. Nobody's talking about, let's treat them that's way better than they treated their victims. No. So now all of those folks are packed in there, and yet you don't hear nothing about them killing each other, rioting, starting to overthrow the guards. Why not? Why not? Let's see why they're not doing that. Why aren't they shanking people and stuff?
Not only high-level MS-13, but their rival gang, 18th Street. They can only wear their underwear and undershirts. There are only 2 bathing areas. There are no showers.
So they got to walk around in their drawers and their T-shirts so you can't hide no shanks. Yeah, that right there is a deterrent. Yeah, man. See, if all these criminals and illegal immigrants, like the one that did 3 years after killing somebody, if that's a walk in the park here in the United States, he could probably do that standing on his hands. He's like, man, back there, it would have been way worse. Yeah, back there, I'm posted up with 60 dudes in the same cell. We're sleeping on each other like puppies. There it is, like a whole bunch of puppies. No privacy, nothing. So that's what's going on. And then they can't even do anything because they rocking drawers and T-shirts and only 2 showers. Isn't it odd that they're making prison uncomfortable for horrific killers, murderers, drug dealers, gangbangers, making it very, very hard for them to say, I'm enjoying this ride. What else? Tell me the other stuff about this prison.
There are 2 toilets.
So if you got the dookie real bad and you got a line of 40 other guys in your cell all waiting to take a crap, you're a crap creek. There it is, man. You sitting like, hey, man, I'm going to have to go in the corner. You better not do that, man. We don't want to smell no doo-doo in here. Yeah, you in trouble down there. I don't know about y'all. It doesn't sound like a place I would want to go. I would change my gang banging ways if I felt I might end up in that prison. So tell me more about this MS-13 marking.
Do not receive commissary, mail, or any visits or phone calls.
Oh my goodness. No wonder the Democrats want to see if they're proof of life and making sure they're how they're famous. Because you don't get no mail, you don't get no phone calls, you don't get no visitors. Now that's prison. There it is. I mean, I don't know about y'all. That's next to death. That sounds like one of them things like, man, if I got life here, I might as well be dead. Might as well be dead. Let's finish it out though.
I wanted to ask, with your expertise and your knowledge, obviously, with MS-13, with gang members, this is exactly what I wanted to see. So here's President Trump holding up what is alleged to be Kilmar Abrego Garcia's knuckle.
Yeah, the same knuckles with those markings that the Democrats are telling us that there's no evidence that he's in MS-13. So maybe this guy who has some insight about that can shed some light on this so the Democrats could stop lying.
Now, it is written MS-13 across the top of the knuckle, but what it's denoting is the marijuana plant. It stands for M. The smile is S. The 1 is the cross, and then the 3 is denoted by the 2 eyes.
Looks pretty MS-13-ish to me.
On the skull and the nose. In your experience, is that an MS-13 tattoo? Is it not? Can you weigh in?
Yes, I would have to agree. And also, I would doubt that the President of the United States would hold up a picture that was an inaccurate depiction of MS-13.
Yeah, but according to the fake news and all of them, Trump's always doing deceitful things like that. I mean, sure, it's absolutely the something Trump would do where he would just come out and make up a whole story. Yeah, don't just go out there and just say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and wing it, show this guy's knuckles, and lie about what these things represent. I don't know what they represent. I'm just going to make it up. They always try to belittle our intelligence by making it appear that Trump reveals things and shows things in a deceitful way. He's really showing things that are proving or disproving the lies and the narratives of the fake news and the Democrats. But yet they'll say what he's showing is fake. No, what he's showing is proof and evidence that y'all are overlooking. And then he goes ahead and ends this whole narrative by saying what?
From my experience, that would be someone considered as an MS-13 member if they were entering my jail.
So, and we have so we have the handshake picture with the Senator Van Hollen as well in this moment. And I know it's far away, but you can see him there. The tattoo still exists.
We see it.
We also have this photo when he's hugging with his fiance and he has his arms wrapped around her. Yeah. And she throws in some emojis on this picture here.
Now, what could ever be her motive for doing that? What's under this emoji? Let a police officer finish us out with some truth.
We can try to show you here. There it is.
There it is.
Now, these emojis can be placed anywhere, but they're around his knuckles. Now, would you, again, from law enforcement, could you surmise or why someone would want to cover up someone's knuckles?
Just take a guess.
Clearly, there's a lot of issues regarding him being deported to El Salvador.
Yeah.
And so anything that could cast light or any negativity to the decision made probably would be why that photograph might be altered.
There it is. Boy, I tell you, he dropped the bomb on them, baby. He dropped the bomb on them. Which it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Anybody with common sense knows why. I mean, like I said, you got the dumb Dems who would sit back, overlook all of that evidence and still get in your face and lie till they can't lie no more. They held on to that. There's no evidence that he's MS-13 to where all of this evidence start coming out to the point where they finally had to break and say, all right, it's time for us to pivot. We can't ride in on the he's not MS-13 narrative anymore. Let's just go ahead and focus on due process. Well, you've seen how all that due process worked and looked throughout all of these SO-ran blue cities and states where people voted blue no matter who. All that due process of those kids that's taking over blocks and all that due process of them going into stores and robbing and right in front of the security guards, all that due process of them being let loose after sanctuary city after sanctuary and resulting in killing Americans and then going through a raggedy process and getting out in 3 years. That's how those blue cities and states operate. That's how they do. But hey, for all of those that, for whatever reason, live there and decide, I'm going to continue to vote blue no matter who, that could be you. All of those scenarios, all of those cases, all of those clips, Democrats enabled all of that. I'm just here to point it out, give you some options, maybe jiggle your brain a little bit, snap you back into reality. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Yeah, man. And I didn't coordinate and plan to wear blue based on the title. I just realized once I started the show, like, hey, I got on blue. I didn't realize that. Okay. All right, Nala. I see. Nope. Get out. All right. See, she knows. Dogs are so clever and perceptive. You know, I mean, both of them know exactly when I'm about to end my show. They'll lay here, won't bother me the whole time. As soon as I say, all right, God bless you, God bless America, they're like, that must mean he's done. He's wrapping it up. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. Somebody said YouTube is doing me wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely doing me wrong. I mean, when you look at the numbers of the live stream after a day or so, you know, it all tampers down right about the same numbers. And God forbid I upload a standalone video for about a 5-minute video or something like that. All these subscribers I got, usually I only get like 1,300 people who can watch a 5-minute video, but yet more of them will watch my live stream for almost 2 hours. Isn't that odd? And yet they tell me the same lies over and over again like the Democrats do. That's not true. We're not censoring. We're not suppressing your chat. We don't do that. We don't do that. I typed it in Chat GPT, I think that's called. Yeah, Chat GPT. I think that's what it is. And it was like, absolutely, you're being shadow banned. There's no way that those numbers would be what they are. I wanted to send that straight to YouTube, like Chat GTP said that y'all lying to me. So anyway, we'll see. We'll just keep plugging at it until times get better. That's how I look at it. So don't forget to text MAGA to that number if you get a chance. And follow me on all the other social media platforms. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can check out Kevin's Corner store for some merch, or you can just simply give to my Cash App, my PayPal, or for those that gave in the super chat, thank you. Those that likes videos and shares them and all that, it all counts. Okay, so God bless y'all. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. Now let's get out of here. Glad I don't live in no blue state. Gives me the willies thinking about it.
This is awesome. Yeah, awesome. Got our hands down,
Tear up the place, yeah. Take care.